Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Game Hands. Oh, AC Wraith is going to be so pissed at us. First, we said that we weren't doing a stream this week. Then, when we do a stream, it's an hour and a half early. Oh, he's going to be so angry.
I mean, we're kind of just making this up as we go.
We are kind of doing that. So we are leaving beautiful downtown Arroyo Grande, California, which is about...
I gotta move my head over a little bit to get in there.
6 hours, I guess.
6 hours from what?
From where we're going home. We're driving back from Nick's.
I think it's just a 4-hour ride.
In 500 feet, turn left onto South Mason Street.
Stop navigation voice. No, not the navigation. Move your phone for real. There we go. Silence navigation voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Edie's the one driving.
It increased the volume. Silence navigation voice. Increase the voice volume.
Here, you can watch what Edie's doing. Watch her.
Stop. Mute navigation.
Okay. It's yeah.
Mute navigation voice.
Okay.
You have to kind of like find the right way to say it.
All right. It's worked.
Now it's no longer going to be giving us, interrupting us.
Okay. I'm going to hold on to this until we get to the highway, because if you make a turn, the phone will probably like tilt a little bit.
As long as the phone doesn't go sliding off, and I'm not going to drive that fast.
Okay. Oh, well, the charger already is making it tilt. Oh.
Yeah, just hang it over the edge. Yeah, we're working with some technical stuff. I trust Nick not to do something stupid. And I'm just
good. Oh, actually, though, the charger is helping keep it stable.
Perfect. So I'm gonna just keep focusing on driving and not hitting the pedestrians.
Yes, that's good.
Anybody in the chat room yet? Oh. My eyes are up here.
Looks like one person, but I don't know. Is that us? Do we count as that one?
No, we are not that one. So we have one person here who's ever in there. Hi.
Yes. Can we see? Oh, yeah. Well, on comment. So we can see you if you leave a comment.
So yeah, we are driving from Arroyo Grande, California, which is near Pismo Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And we are driving back home to the Bay Area. We are full of food. Oh my God, we had lunch. I should have stopped.
Oh, that was a good breakfast.
Yeah, that's.
I needed that.
I am so full. I did nothing but eat this weekend.
Yeah, eat and play games. That's kind of what it was all about.
So what games did you play after? Because I crashed really early. We had dinner late at like 9 o'clock, which is about what I normally have. But all of a sudden, like the fatigue hit me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go in the other room and lay down for a few minutes. And then 3 hours later, Nick wakes me up, and it's like midnight. And it's like, can you move your car?
Mm-hmm.
So I missed all of the evening festivities. What'd you play last night?
All the stuff at the last game we played, we took up all that was Codenames.
Oh, you did play Codenames. Okay, good.
Yeah. It was all just Codenames. And like trying to teach people Codenames and then like play it while also teaching people and just the awkwardness that comes from that.
Yeah, there were definitely some of the hits and definitely some misses in the choices of games that I brought. Bad Choices was a horrible decision. Horrible idea. That's a great game for a bunch of people who really know each other really well. I was thinking it was going to be along the lines of Cards Against Humanity. Oh. I didn't think it would just be like,
what have you done?
Right. Have you ever masturbated in front of a pet? And it's like, I don't know these people. I'm not going to ask them that. I'd ask you that, chat room, but I would never.
Yeah, we were playing Cards Against Humanity later too.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity, and it was funny.
That was fun.
And Rachel was the one who says, "Yeah, not Cards Against Humanity." So I didn't bring Cards Against Humanity specifically for that reason, and that was the one that everybody gravitated to last night. And
well, we played it briefly.
Yeah.
And then. No, the stream's still here.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, people. This is like a found footage movie here.
Yeah, welcome to the
Yep. Okay. We're back in it.
Yep, we are now zooming down the road north. I am going north right now, north to Pismo. Or north to San Francisco.
More into it a little bit. Yeah, what were the other games that we played?
Telestrations.
Yeah, Telestrations was really fun. I like Telestrations.
Yeah, I did too.
Watching a camel turn into
Dungeons and
Dragons, and watching Coyote turn into Chicken Beak.
Watching, what was it? Cat Got Your Tongue turned into Titmouse.
Yeah. Well, the way it works is like telephone meets Pictionary. So you have a word, you draw the word, and then you hand it to someone else who guesses what you drew. Then they hand it to someone else. They guess a word.
Then they take the word that you guessed was what the person drew, and then they draw it.
Yeah.
And then they hand it to the next person, and that person guesses what was the word based on the second person's drawing. And everything goes horribly awry. Actually, there was one. Which was the one that actually made it all the way through?
Oh, none of them made it all the way through, but one of them was close. I started with braid and ended with curly hair.
Right, and there was trucker hat. It was
taxi driver.
Taxi driver turned into trucker hat, but it instantly turned into trucker hat, and it stayed trucker hat all the way through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun game. Everything. It's like the only one that was really off, like way off in left field, was Titmouse.
Yeah.
But that was because the last person just had one horrible drawing off of Cat Got Your Tongue, and then it just all went bad.
The other games. The Smart 10 that you got. We never really got a chance to play it a lot, but that seemed really cool.
That was really cool.
I like that one. It's like you had a circular set of questions, and each point around the circle, each 10 of them was an answer. And so every time you would, it's like, let's see, it would list like fascist dictators, and you would have to name what country they were the dictator of. And so each option was like a little peg around a circle. And you would say, oh yeah, Hitler, that was Germany. So you pull out that peg and you see the answer. And if it's Germany, you keep the peg and you get a point. If it was wrong, then you're out of the game. You're out for that round.
You're not only out for that round, but any points that you earn up to that. So if it's like goes around once and you're getting it back again, any points that you actually earned, if you get it wrong, you lose.
Yeah, so it becomes like a push your luck, because some of them are like, oh yeah, here, name the fascist dictator. So every question on there, every dictator has a country. Others were rank the countries from smallest to largest. And so...
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that was one. And so you had to do that in order. But then some of them were like, name a space station program.
Yeah.
And so some of them were real, some of them were false. And so you could get the little trivia box, and there would still be pegs left, but they're all wrong answers. And so you had to choose, I'm going to pass now, because I don't think there are any right answers left.
So you could pass it any time. And you could just keep passing it. And if you pass it to the next person or next group, and that group knows an answer or wants to take a chance at an answer, they can choose. So like leaving the competition early protects your points, but it also limits the amount of points you get. However, taking a risk could cost you all of your points that you have earned in that round. At all groups involved pass in that round, and then you score the points that would have been earned.
And we played a couple rounds of it before we got distracted. But then the real fun game was the one that you brought at the last minute.
Yeah, that was the one that I've had it for years because my cousin gave it to me because I enjoyed it so much playing it at the ranch with her and the rest of the family. And so she bought one for me as a gift, and it's been on my shelf, and I've never used it, but I knew it was a good game. It was always like, oh yeah, we're bringing that one. That's called. Fuck, what is it called?
Yeah, because it didn't have a name on it. It was just like an electronic device.
A name. It does have a name. It's called. What is it? It's on it. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a generic term for this type of game.
It's a it's not Telestrations. It was.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, you missed like the beautiful view of the movie for me to show you, but that was apparently when the internet decided to, or the cell service decided to black out on this. Are we recording? Yeah,
yes. Oh, it's just my phone. So yeah, so the device, it gives you a category, and then you get a word. You get like Jessica Alba, and you have to try to get your teammates to guess Jessica Alba.
You have to describe Jessica Alba and make them actually say Jessica Alba.
Yeah. And so there's entertainment, which has a lot of celebrities, a lot of things like that. There was sci-tech, places.
Sci-tech, everything.
Yeah. And yeah, that was just a fun game to pass and play because you get like 30.
You hit the button and the machine starts beeping,
Mm-hmm.
and you guess, and then if somebody gets it, you hand it to the next person on your team, and then that person takes it, and every person that actually gets through that round that actually guesses, every time you get one right, you get a point. It's counting down, and the beeping starts to speed up, which makes you freak out a little bit because like, oh, okay, you know, that kind of thing, and it's just so fucking funny. And of course, the other team is watching the other ones try to describe something, and it's like, of course, they know sometimes that nobody else is answering, and the descriptions are just hilarious. Ryan's girlfriend, Siobhan, or Sinead, yes, with her descriptions. It was always like, oh, here comes the crazy. As soon as she was like describing something. So it was really funny.
And some of them I got. Like, they were good. I liked the moment when Ryan got Beowulf. And he was like, it's a weird CG movie came out in the odds. And I knew it. We both knew it, me and Sinead. We were like, oh, yes, that story with Grendel, Angelina Jolie in the movie. And we're like, shit, what's the name of the movie? What's the name of the guy? What's the name of the poem?
I got Jessica Alba, and I could not, for the fucking life of me, remember the movie that she was in. The Quentin Tarantino. It was
Sin City.
Sin City. God fucking damn it! I couldn't remember that. Oh,
I like how at one point you got a bunch of actors, and you're like, oh, they're in the Quentin Tarantino. Oh, they're in the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Uma Thurman. Quentin Tarantino, blonde, with the feet. Oh, Uma Thurman. Kill Bill.
Yeah, that game was a lot of fun.
Was Sin City Uma Thurman? Or was Sin City Tarantino? I don't think it was Tarantino.
No, it wasn't. That was Robert Rodriguez.
That's what it was, Rodriguez.
But I think he directed a scene of it.
I think he did.
He did a scene, and also
Rose McGowan, wasn't it one with like the machine gun leg girl?
That was
a part of
Planet Terror, which was a part of. What was it?
And there was Machete, was also a character in it.
No, Machete was a trailer.
Right, in the movie.
Yeah, it was Planet Terror and Drive Death Proof. Death Proof was the one Tarantino directed. Planet Terror was the one Robert Rodriguez directed, and in between, most of those trailers have now become actual movies.
Yeah, like Danny Trejo's Machete
became a movie. Thanksgiving, a slasher Thanksgiving flick, just came out last year, has a real movie. And I think there were two others that were joke trailers that became movies. I think there's one left that hasn't. Yeah, but that was a great game.
Yeah, what was Rose McGowan was she had a machine gun for leg, right?
Yes, yeah, that was Planet Terror.
Yeah, I could not. I could not remember that. I could see it in my head. I was like, Jessica Alba, she's a stripper in that movie, Quentin Tarantino. It's like, but it's not Quentin, and I didn't want to say Quentin Tarantino because I knew it wasn't, but I couldn't remember who it was. But it's sort of like it, and I didn't want to get them off on the wrong. It was So anyway, it was a big fun thing.
Yeah. And then
catchphrase.
Oh, catchphrase. Okay.
That's what it's called, catchphrase.
And then I think that was all the board games that we played there. The catchphrase,
Telestration,
Bad Ideas, Telestrations,
Cards
Against Humanity, Smart 10.
You guys were playing a trivia game when I started. Come on, guy. Dude, you're getting on the freeway. Go faster than 45 miles an hour. It's a freeway. Sorry. Edie is not an aggressive driver, but she does yell. It's a pet peeve of mine. People. All right, here's the thing. If you're merging, if you're getting on, fuck you, and he's getting off. If you're getting on a freeway, you need to be going freeway speeds when you enter the freeway. Don't get onto the freeway going 45 miles an hour and then speed up to 65. That's what the on-ramp is for. You are trying to get up to 65 on the on-ramp, and then you can merge in and not make everybody fucking slam on their brakes.
Although, to play devil's advocate, sometimes the on-ramp is really short.
And that's why
it doesn't give you that time.
No, that's when you floor it, so that you can get up to speed, so that you are merging, it's a merge, not an intersection.
I mean, that's also why I just hate driving in the right lane.
Yeah. I do too. In fact, I think I'm going to get out of the right lane on this one because there's just a lot of really stupid people. It's all people going home from the beach. They're just horrible. And I hate humans.
But a trivia game we were playing when you got there.
I thought that you were doing some kind of trivia. There was definitely some trivia cards. And it was easy because I was nailing every single one of them.
It was things you should know.
Oh, well, yeah.
That was the trivia game. And yeah, it was a lot of questions of like, I should know that. That's what the game is called. Yeah. And then it's a bunch of trivia questions that make you go, I should know that.
Yeah, like the Cubist thing. And I did know it, but I didn't get it wrong that Picasso was a Cubist. I guess Picasso was a Cubist. He really only had a cubist period, but that was like his earliest period.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was a fun one too, because it's a bunch of relatively easy trivia questions until you get to one that you don't know, and then you're like racking your brain trying to figure it out. So it has like a nice balance and kind of arc to the trivia. You're not always stressing about it.
Well, it's nice because it makes you feel smart because you do know the answers to most of them.
Yeah, except when you confidently answer one and then it's wrong. But yeah, that's what we did. We played board games and ate food with some close friends as an engagement party for me and Rachel, and it was great.
Yeah, it was a really fun time.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me because that was an awesome
Absolutely.
Weekend. And right now, I mean, I don't know. I mean, turn it around so they can see what we're driving through, but it's absolutely beautiful here right now. It was raining all weekend and off and on all weekend, and it's actually sunny today, and it's supposed to be clear all day. And it's right now, California is when it's. This is the period of time when California looks green. The rest of the time, California is brown and golden, but right now is when it looks like Ireland. It's so great out here right now.
Yeah, these green hills are kind of like you get a couple months of these.
Right. But this is what springtime in California looks like, and it's awesome. And,
and you made a friend this weekend.
I made a friend this weekend. Finally, the hatchet has been buried. Ryan apologized. Last thing he did on the way out.
No, he did it at the beginning of brunch.
He did it at the beginning of brunch on the way, on the way out of of town. We all stopped for brunch, and we sat it down at brunch, and we were sitting next to each other. He goes, "By the way, I've been wanting to say this all weekend, but I apologize for being a stupid teenager." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God! Now we can play Helldivers together." Shit.
Does that mean you're gonna get Helldivers?
I told him. I said I was really upset because I couldn't play Helldivers. And you were always like, you should play Helldivers. I play it with Ryan all the time. I'm like, I can't play Helldivers because Ryan's playing Helldivers with you, and I'm not going to play with Ryan. So now, and I said, I'm so glad because I was at this point after this weekend where I had to decide, did I want to give up on the grudge or did I want to play Helldivers more? And I was just going to let it go. And it's like, all right, I'll think about it when I get home if I really want to play Helldivers and let go of the grudge. And then he said sorry, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Now I don't have to worry about getting him with the grudge.
Now you can put it away.
Put it away. And, yeah. So yeah, that grudge of what, 10 years? At least.
Which is like all one-sided. All one-sided.
Oh, yes. He offended me, and I was never going to speak to him again. But see, that was the whole thing. If it had been both ways, then we would have had a grudge against each other. But he just was an ass, and I took offense, and then was like, "Oh, I don't think I'm an ass." I'm like, "Okay, grudge done."
Okay, grudge time. That's Edie holds grudge. Edie, you would start a grudge with Edie. Without realizing it.
It wasn't like I was like, oh, okay, you're dead to me. No, it was, I was angry and I was screaming and I was trying to explain to him why what he did was not okay and why I was upset, and never said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. It was always, well, yeah, I mean, I don't understand what your problem is. If somebody is upset with you, even if you don't understand what their problem is, there's three things you can do. You can tell them they're wrong, which is grudge time. You can tell them, I'm sorry, but, which means, yeah, you still want me to see it your way. That's grudge time. And it's, I'm sorry. Then there's no grudges. If it had just said I'm sorry at the beginning, never wouldn't have been 10 years. But it took a while. I mean, he was, what, 18? 18,
yeah,
19.
teenager.
He was a teenager. He didn't know better. He didn't understand, but now he's probably old enough to understand that you just, when you upset someone, say I'm sorry. Not I'm sorry, but, or don't mansplain to a woman how they shouldn't be feeling the way they do. That, sir, that's full 100% grudge time.
Yeah, now that's resolved, so we can play Helldivers. Which was interesting because Jake, too, there, was playing Helldivers. And so it's interesting to see, like, a spectrum of gamers there all playing Helldivers. Mm-hmm. That, like, the game actually kind of took off in this way that, like, yeah, even someone that's kind of playing casually is, like, liberty. We need to spread managed democracy to the bugs.
So, did you watch read any of the news? Who's coming out this week?
Probably, but I can't think of it off the top of my head what happened. Although,
I did see that article about Dragon Age that they said that they're pretty confident that Dragon Age Dreadwolf is going to be out in 2024.
Yeah,
they're going to have a big reveal in the summer, and it's going to be released for the end of the year.
next to the microphone. Oh, okay, there we go. Now we're back. Oh, hey. I'm looking at Discord on Edie's phone.
Oh, no. Please don't.
Oh, what is this category called Nick's Batch Party?
Fuck you.
Oh.
No.
I can look at all of that.
Do you really want to do that? You want to really wreck this?
I'm honestly, I'm trying to find news. What the hell is news?
Under where?
Clips and highlights. Oh, there it is. It's like blanked out.
Oh.
Okay, take these off so I can read.
That might help.
Oh, this is one that a Cheat Hippo posted just recently.
Hippo?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Talk about like a blast from the past. Cheat Hippo. What? I do have that recording somewhere. I will find that recording of the story that he told in PAX. That is one of the funniest stories I have ever heard.
Yeah, he had a story about PlayStation, Sony working on PC this week. Did we talk about that?
I believe we did. That I said that that's a really smart thing to do.
Yeah,
if they did that they would win. They would win the headset market because no other headset does that. You have to make a choice. If it's Oculus, well, first off, you have to have a Facebook account, but you can only do PC or Facebook stuff. With all the other ones, you only have to do PC.
Okay, now we're back. Not sure where the video got lost. So we'll just have to recap a little bit. She Hippo put into Discord that Sony was working on PC support for PSVR 2, and then this morning there was an opinion article on IGN about how Sony has abandoned the PSVR 2 because they're not making any big first-party VR games, which is very true. But as someone who owns a PSVR 2, I don't really hold it against them because, like I've said, VR development is kind of financially irresponsible. So it feels like it's the domain mostly of indie games, and there are still a lot of really cool PSVR indie games coming out. There was the game Synapse that I played on the VR stream last time that is still like one of the coolest experiences I've had in VR. And then recently, they put out a game called like Legendary Tales. That's almost like a dark gothic medieval roguelike RPG that looks really, really cool. And in general, it's well supported by indie developers, just like VR is on PC. VR is the domain of indie games. And I think people were hoping that if Sony put it out, then they would start to invest heavily into it. But like I said, I just don't think it's just not a responsible thing to do with money. There's just not enough VR gamers out there. So I'm happy to get what we get. I am going to be happy with the crumbs of VR because that's all that the marketplace can support.
Yeah, that's kind of depressing to me, but it also doesn't surprise me because Sony was the one that like got rid of 1,900 jobs, and one of the things that they killed
no, that was Microsoft.
Was it Microsoft?
Yeah.
So Sony had just a bunch of layoffs.
Yeah, but I don't think it was 1,900.
Maybe it was, but it was a lot of jobs, and they did kill a couple of VR games.
Yes,
they
did.
Studio for a VR game.
Yeah, they did that.
So yeah, it doesn't. And I understand why they're doing that because I know that I would say 6 or 8 years ago, everybody's like, VR is going to be the next big thing. And I was saying back then, it's like 3D television. It's not going to be the next big thing. But it's going to be
longer than 3D televisions.
That's true. and you know, Mark Zuckerberg bought Oculus. Like Oculus was the one that started it, but it was always kind of I don't want to say gimmick, but it was always sort of a gimmick. Like the games weren't there to support the technology. And in most cases, it's gotten better, but it's still the games aren't there to support the technology.
Except I think they are there. They're just not like big AAA budget games. Right. They're just like a bunch of smaller but still genuinely cool and fun games.
Right. And the hardware install base isn't there to support huge, massive AAA VR games, right?
Yes.
But the huge, massive AAA games are the ones that are going to make people buy the hardware to create the install base. Like, nobody's going to buy a headset. I mean, obviously some people did, but nobody's going to buy, not a lot of people are going to buy a headset that doesn't have any games for it. It doesn't have the game that sells it.
Yes, but I also think that
they needed to think about headsets as consoles.
Well, I think
instead they were thinking about headsets as like cool tech. I think they needed to actually have that mentality of put out the games we want to play on it, and then sell us the headset.
I think the problem is that when you think about a big AAA game, you think about like an open world thing that's 80 hours long. That's not the kind of game you play in VR.
Right.
That sucks in VR.
Right.
A VR is meant for bite-sized experiences. Even if you play for a while, you're not sitting on the couch. You're not playing hours a day. Like you just can't do that. VR is meant for smaller, bite-sized experiences, which kind of makes it not a good platform for big AAA experiences.
Right. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that got involved with VR, people like Zuckerberg, that they bought these companies and spent billions on these companies and then threw even more money at them without really having a clear idea of what they're good for.
He's just trying to make the metaverse.
Right, then create the metaverse, which is like the ultimate of the worst idea that for that technology. It is a square peg in a round hole. It seems like it should fit, but it doesn't. In fact, it's the opposite of what it should fit. And of course, Zuckerberg made it the metaverse and also made it bad. I mean, if Blizzard made the metaverse, I might be interested in it, but certainly not what Zuckerberg has.
I mean, like Zuckerberg made the metaverse, but doesn't have anything in it.
Yeah. If you had like an equivalent of World of Warcraft world in the metaverse, with a headset, depending on how many people were using it and what it was doing, yeah, I might do it. But the thing is that you would be selling the metaverse, not the headset.
But again, yeah, I don't know if that's true, because you're not going to get people playing World of Warcraft for long periods of time in VR because the VR headset.
No, I didn't say play World of Warcraft, but a World of Warcraft-like world.
Yeah, no, but like
something really immersive.
But
and
even
it's
then,
not the real world. It's not the real world. It's not even the Zuckerberg's idea of what the metaverse is. But if I could live in a D&D world, and even if it was just doing dumb things, I would absolutely do that.
But I don't think you would do that for longer than 2 to 3 hours at most.
Exactly.
Because the headsets themselves are just like too big. Yeah. Even at their best, they're still big. You need to get a VR headset like this. This pair of sunglasses.
Like the Apple goggles?
No, even the Apple goggles are too big.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the Apple goggles, like, fuck it all. You need a VR headset that has light and comfortable, has a pair of sunglasses. That is how you will get people to spend hours and hours inside it.
Is it Google Glass that just got the Ray-Bans with the...
I think that was Facebook.
Is it
There's
Facebook?
like a Facebook.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like, yeah, you could record it, and there's like a share button.
It needs to be a heads-up display. Anybody who's got into an Ionic, one of the high-end Ionics with the heads-up displays, that's what we need. And glasses.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm really surprised that car manufacturers have this technology on windshields, and it's incredible, and nobody's figured out how to put it into glasses, because that's what I fucking need right now. I need to be able to see Twitch chat in my glasses in the lower right-hand corner right now, so that I can record with you guys and still have an interactive experience while still focusing on the road.
Yeah, you just got to get 4K screens that are as thin as sunglasses lens. Why is that so hard? Come on, Silicon Valley.
You've never seen a heads-up display in an Ionic, have you?
I don't think so.
Oh shit! I almost want to stop off at a Hyundai dealership and test drive an Ionic.
Nah, I don't want to do that.
You could try it. You could just try it and know what I'm talking about. It's holodeck shit.
No, I say it needs a 4K screen because, like, that's how you would play games on it.
That's true.
Like, if you're just using it for chat or like texting.
I don't think I want to play games on glasses like that. I don't want to play games on glasses like that.
I mean,
I want it to be able to augment my life, to be able to do things, to be productive, and also to be able to like have additional information, so I'm not like looking elsewhere instead of on the road.
That's what you can do. Once you get the screens this small, you can put anything you want on them. Yeah. You can make a pair of glasses that are AR that show you Twitch chat, and you can make a pair of glasses that's VR for gaming.
True.
But they need to be this thin, and until they are, any metaverse hope is gone.
Yeah, it'll probably happen in your lifetime. Probably not mine.
Yeah.
Is still in chat? Is anybody still in chat?
Yes, one person is.
All right.
In other news, so it's March. That means there's a new slew of Game Pass games, and Xbox had announced what's coming out. You know, the first week of March.
You should probably put it here now, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're not moving too much. There we go. Hi guys.
Hey. Xbox had, announced the games that are coming, but one game that they didn't announce that did come to Game Pass is Dead Island 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that is now on Game Pass. Stealth dropped. No announcement, and people are speculating that Embracer is like, okay, you can put this game on Game Pass. Give us the money.
Right.
We'll give you the game on Game Pass, but like, don't advertise it. That way. Maybe some people will still buy the game and we can get a little bit more money out of them. Please, we just need the money, dear God.
Yeah, we need a little cash infusion. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense that they would do it. I'm not an apologist for Embracer, but I understand why they're easy to understand why they're doing it, and it's not greed. It's survival. And whether it was a good idea or a bad idea, it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. No, I'm not saying that they even should be in this situation.
Bad management. That CEO should be gone.
True.
He should not be in charge of that company.
Absolutely. But their motives are incredibly understandable. Their motives are incredibly understandable. It is not Bobby Kotick who is looking at his multi-bajillion-dollar golden parachute and not giving a shit to fuck over everybody just because he can and he can get a few extra cents out of them. This is Embracer desperate for cash because they are in trouble. They are trying their best to keep the wolves at bay. They're paddling furiously against a tide that is pulling them down. Now, should they have jumped in the river? No, they absolutely should not have jumped in the river without at least some kind of an idea of a lifeboat. But now that they're in that river, I don't blame them, and I understand their motives of why they're doing what they're doing because of that. So it's kind of nice. It's refreshing that at least they're doing it for survival, not for greed.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody trying to survive.
I blame them if they're Embracer.
You can have your reasons of why somebody shouldn't have made a horrible life decision, but if they're also trying to why somebody might have murdered someone else versus why they might have killed them in self-defense. It's a matter of survival. People do and companies do things to survive.
Look, you went cliff jumping with a parachute without a parachute.
Right.
You went cliff jumping with a bag that someone was like, I think there's a parachute in there.
But at the
same... And then you went cliff jumping, and you know what? There wasn't a parachute, and you were warned there might not be, but you still did it. And at that point, why? You have no one to blame but yourself.
Right, you have no one to blame but yourself. But that doesn't mean that you just like, oh, I have nobody to blame myself. I guess I'll just die. No, you're going to do your best to try and survive. You made a horrible fucking mistake you should not have made. And the looking back and going, whose fault it was, doesn't do anything any good when you're literally on the verge of death. You're going to do your best.
The issue is that everyone else is suffering for their poor decision.
Right.
That's it. It's not he jumped without a parachute and he didn't die, but he landed on a bus of children and killed all of them.
Yes, okay. Here's a good analogy. When you see someone drowning, the first thing you don't do is jump in to help them. The first thing you do is grab something that floats that you can swim out to that person so that you can keep them away from you. Because when someone is drowning, they're panicking. And when they panic, and you come over there to help them, the first thing that they will do is they will grab you and jump on top of you to get out of the water because they're panicking. And they will kill you and themselves. What Embracer is doing right now is should the person who jumped in the water been in that water? Did they probably do something to get into the water and get themselves in a situation where they're drowning that they shouldn't have? Was there a bad decision made? Absolutely. Chances are somebody did something stupid and that's why they're drowning. But that doesn't mean that if I swam out and tried to help them, that I would blame them if they grabbed me and drowned me. Because they're panicking. They're just pure panicking, trying to survive. This is a visceral, brainstem gut reaction that even your best friend, even your parents, will kill you if they're panicking in the water and you swim close enough. And that's what this is.
Except that they're not drowning. It's a business, and doesn't have seconds to decide, oh, my life's in danger.
That's true.
It's a business, and he could come up with a better way. Such as Toys for Bob, which was owned by Activision, which was then acquired by Microsoft, is being spun out into an independent game studio.
Oh, really?
Toys for Bob is going independent. They're leaving Microsoft, they're leaving Activision, and becoming their own independent studio. They say, they're exploring a possible partnership between the new studio and Microsoft, but they don't have anything to announce in that regard. But basically, they won't be owned by Microsoft. They'll be like a second-party studio. And so, when you look at that and you think, wow, Embracer shut down a bunch of studios to save money. They could have spun them off and basically said, yeah, okay, you're indie studios now. We don't want you. And basically cut them off.
True.
But they're like, now we're shutting it down. We're killing them.
That's true.
Because that's all Embracer knows how to do.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know enough about business.
Look, I don't know enough, but I know enough that Embracer fucked up, and they continue to fuck up and be like,
and they're doing the lowest hanging fruit. They're doing the not challenging thing of, it's costing us too much money, let's murder it. I'm not saying that that's a good idea, but I understand why they're doing it.
Yeah,
they're continuing to make poor choices, but for understandable reasons.
Yeah, they are just, they're a joke of the industry now.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They bought a bunch of studios, didn't really put out any good games from all those studios.
No, they were fully in the buying spree because the money was supposed to come from the Saudis to make a bunch of games. That was just go out, acquire the IPs, acquire the studios, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with it. And then the Saudis went, whoopsie.
Which is like just fundamentally stupid and incompetent.
Here's why I think that they're doing what they're doing, though. I still, to this day, believe that what happened to them, what the Saudis did to them, was planned. I absolutely believe that it was corporate sabotage, because the Saudis wanted Embracer to buy. They didn't want to go out and buy all of these IPs. They didn't want to go out and buy all of these studios. So what they did is they got Embracer to go out and buy all of these studios, and then pulled out of the deal. So Embracer had to sell everything off in a fire sale. And who's going to buy it? They're going to be able to get all of these IPs at a discount.
We'll have to see, because so far Embracer hasn't sold anything.
And I think that's why Embracer's not selling anything. Is because that they know that they got played, and they would rather burn it down than give it to the guys who destroyed their studio.
I mean, again, that's,
and as someone who holds a grudge,
that's
I
the CEO.
fully understand that.
That's a bad CEO. That is a bad businessman. But he's making.
Would you really want the Saudis to win on that one? I mean, if it was the same, you were in the same situation where your company literally got murdered by this other company.
But like, think about it.
You were going to be playing into their plans by selling everything. Oh, there's the Salinas River. Everybody want to take a look at the Salinas River? Give it a shot. There's the beautiful Salinas River. These stories, if you ever watched Of Mice and Men, there you go. There is the beautiful Salinas River. Actually, it's really low compared to.
Yeah, very low.
I was expecting it to be way fuller than that. But yeah, that whole area is, by this time of the year, usually flooded out. I'm really surprised it's as low as it is. That's the river that's the lifeblood of California, really.
I don't know what that says about California when it's that low. But like, if you're just talking personal grudges, sure, I understand that. But you also run a company that employs millions of people, and you're letting your personal grudge destroy a bunch of their livelihoods because you're a petty motherfucker.
Right.
And at that point, you're a bad businessman.
No, you're a bad human. You're a good businessman, you're a bad human.
No, it's still a bad businessman because you're not doing anything to help your business. You're burning it down when you could if you took the ego hit, you could help your business, but you would rather keep your ego than like keep jobs. And at that point, that's bad business. That is a bad corporate strategy because the stock is tanking. The whole publisher is a joke of the industry, and if it's all because of the CEO's ego, then I don't know why anyone. I don't know why anyone would want.
Laying this out at the CEO's ego.
Because
it's a publicly held company. If the CEO's ego was truly bad for business, you know what would happen? The stockholders would get rid of him. It is a publicly traded company.
Well, yeah.
Stockholders are not just like, aren't
you were talking about like, oh, he was hurt, petty. Would you let your company burn?
Nick, do I want to point out that the worst thing that ever happened to Twitter, the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
In all metrics, business, social, whatever, and all metrics, reputational, was that Elon Musk bought that company, right?
Yeah.
Do you know who forced Elon Musk to buy that company?
Who?
The shareholders, because they were going to make more money off of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't care about the fucking company. They cared about the money. That's what shareholders do. They don't care if it's a good business practice. They don't care who gets hurt. They don't care if babies are murdered. If it makes them more money, they will absolutely do it. And they will sell their stock at a high and walk away perfectly happy. Nobody that sold their stock, that forced that sale, still owns that stock for Twitter. They bailed and they left that dumpster fire for everybody else to have to deal with, and they did not care that they killed Twitter in the meantime. That being said, if the CEO was doing such a poor job, then what would happen is the stockholders would get rid of him. There's something going on.
No, it's not a conspiracy theory.
I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think that there's something going on that you and I don't understand, and it would probably be something clear made to the stockholders and not to us.
Maybe, but like it is a publicly traded company, which means that like a lot of the financial information is out there. But like the fact is, the company, whether it's the CEO or the stockholders or anyone, they made a gamble with money they didn't have and lost.
Yeah.
And like however you spin it, it was a bad decision.
Yeah. It was a bad decision on money they didn't have, and clearly without a contract, and that's where they were. That was the problem.
Yeah, like, and it's such a basic mistake, a basic, simple, fundamental mistake for $2 billion.
Yeah,
and that's, I think, the point that I'm like,
Camp Roberts.
Yeah, that's the point that I'm sticking at. Is like, yeah, you did this mistake and it cost you $2 billion, but it wasn't because of some crazy sequence of events. It was like a basic business 101 class mistake that you did.
You fucked up royally. But there's a part of me that wonders if Embracer, not making any judgments here, it's purely from a capitalist point of view, not judging as far as like ethics are concerned, but from a capitalist point of view, I'm wondering if him cutting loose all of these, companies and making the company smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. At a certain point, they're going to get small enough that they're actually not, rather than selling everything off and dissolving. That makes me think that maybe I might want to buy some stock.
Except I would hesitate because
if they survive, this is going to be the biggest comeback, the greatest comeback ever.
Except I would hesitate because even at the biggest buying spree, they were buying like B and C tier developers and stuff. Mm-hmm. And again, like none of them put out the best game that they put out was Dead Island 2.
How much you want to bet that Embracer wasn't just that Embracer was buying them at the order of
And back. Hello. What were we talking about before? Oh yeah, the emergency CEO. He's got a vault of game preservation and stuff. And basically, the way I see it, he's a hobbyist with $1 billion and wanted to start a publishing company. He's just a dude with a bunch of money that wanted to get into gaming. He's not really a businessman. He's just a hobbyist with a bunch of money, and that's why he fucked up, because he doesn't really know what he's doing.
Yeah, all right, I get you that, but I think I might just buy some of that stock, just because if it does come back.
says the lady who owns stock in Ubisoft.
Says the lady who bought this car with $500 worth of Tesla stock.
Okay, that's 50-50 right there.
Yep. No, I still have quite a bit of the Tesla, the Ubisoft money. I lost 40% of the value, but I'm still in it. It could come back.
Could come. Look, if Star Wars Outlaws does really well this year.
Listen, there was a point in time when we all were like, whatever you do not buy Rockstar because they're about to go under. Holy shit, Rockstar is about to go under. And it is just watching the death throes of that company. Holy crap. It happened. It's not unheard of for sometimes to them to make it back. Holy crap, did it get warm or what? Why?
Yeah, it did get really hot.
Can you do whatever you need to do to, like, there we go, 7.
Maybe?
There we go, 8.
I don't know how the Tesla UI works.
There we go, that's better.
Let's just increase the fan, though. How do you change the temperature?
The temperature right here, there's your temperature. You're at 73.
Oh, that's why. Drop that. Okay, what's some more news? Oh, so apparently Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes on, if you get it physically, it comes on 2 discs. One is an install disc. One is a play disc. So you stick the installation disc in, it installs the game, then you put the play disc in, and that runs the game. Very PC-like for a console, which is funny. But apparently in Japan, the discs were misprinted the wrong way.
Oh no, so they're putting in the wrong order?
The play disc is labeled install, and the install disc is labeled play.
Oh.
And so, like, it could cause some, it's not going to, like, break your PlayStation or anything, but it will cause some issues. And those physical copies are now sought-after collectible items.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's, like, the best case scenario is if you're going to get a fucked up, broken version of the game, let it be collectible.
Yeah, at the very least,
yeah.
Get something out of it.
What else?
Let's see. Oh, this looks like it. This is from the AP from AC Wraith. Tax-free status of movie, music, and games traded online is on table.
Really? Now, what do they mean by? Because do we pay tax? I don't think we pay tax when we buy.
No, we don't.
Games. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, in theory, I think you're supposed to list that on your taxes as, like, yeah, wasn't there something that, like, or maybe it was like if you buy something online.
That would be like sales tax.
I thought it was like if you buy something online out of state and you don't pay tax on it, but like you ship it to California.
Yeah. You
should pay California taxes on that, and so you should mention that purchase on your taxes.
Yeah.
Had to get that last one in.
Oh my god, I don't think I've ever had you get 10 before. Wow, double digits. That's impressive.
Okay, I'm going to read this article.
Okay.
Since the last century and the early days of the web, providers of digital media like Netflix and Spotify have had a free pass when it comes to international taxes on films, video games, and music that are shipped across borders through the internet.
Oh, okay. So not sales tax, international taxes over borders. Got it.
as the World Trade Organization opens its latest biannual meeting of government ministers Monday, its longtime moratorium on duties on e-commerce products, which has been renewed automatically since 1998, is coming under pressure. This week in Abu Dhabi, the WTO's 160 member countries will take up a key issue: subsidiaries that encourage overfishing, reforms to make agricultural markets fairer, efforts to revive Geneva-based trade body system involving disputes among countries, and among these is the moratorium on e-commerce duty. It centers on electronic transmissions, like movies, music, video games, and the like, instead of physical goods. But the rulebook isn't clear on the entire array of products affected. Under the WTO's major decisions require consensus. The moratorium can't just sail through automatically. Countries must actively vote in favor for the extension to take effect. 4 proposals are on the table. 2 would extend the suspension of duties. 2, separately presented by South Africa and India, 2 countries that have been pushing their interests hard at the WTO, would not extend the moratorium.
Interesting.
Yeah, proponents say the moratorium benefits consumers by keeping costs down and promotes wider rollout of digital services in countries both rich and poor. Critics say it deprives debt-burdened governments in developing countries of tax revenue, though there's debate over just how much state coffers would stand to gain. The WTO itself says that on average the potential loss would be less than 1/3 of 1% of total government revenue. So it does sound like the countries wouldn't get a whole lot from it. South Africa's proposal, which seeks to end the moratorium, calls for the creation of a fund to receive voluntary contributions to bridge the digital divide. It also wants to require leading platforms to boost the promotion of historically disadvantaged small and medium-sized enterprises, which seems like kind of a big ask in that it's basically asking, hey, promote indie games, promote indie movies, promote this South African show that otherwise wouldn't get the front page of Netflix.
Yeah.
Which could be opening up a can of worms.
Prepare to have your like the front page of your Netflix all fucked up with things we think you should watch.
I mean, it kind of already is.
Yeah.
The U.S. is pushing hard to extend the moratorium. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Well, that makes sense that the U.S. is pushing hard because we export way more than we import.
Yes.
And India and South Africa would really like to export more, but let's face it, I'm not. I'll watch some South Korea shows, absolutely, but I'll not watch any Indian shows. Their quality just isn't there. First off, their quality isn't there. Second off, the social values.
Some Bollywood films are like good fun.
Yeah, they're good, but also there's a lot of like socially things. There's some issues in there with relation to women and gender roles that would not fly particularly well with the U.S.
Yeah. Let's see. Supermassive Games, latest studio hit with layoffs.
Oh, really? Wow, I find kind of surprising.
Yeah, 90 people.
That's not that much, but then again, it's a really small company.
Yeah, this is the developer of Until Dawn,
Super Meat Boy.
the Quarry, the Dark Pictures anthologies. Horror Choose Your Own Adventure.
Who does even remember Meat Boy? Why was I thinking that? That was Tiny Games. Tiny Build. Never mind.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's Supermassive. They make the horror Choose Your Own Adventure.
That's kind of a shame. Well, like I said, that's an even smaller company than Tiny Build. So,
yeah.
How many? They said 90?
90.
That's kind of a lot. Did they say what the percentage of that was of the company?
I don't see that anywhere in the statement. I don't know. Sorry. Let's see. Oh yeah, this was an interesting thing. So, top Call of Duty esports players sue Activision for $680 million in damages, alleging that the publisher has an unlawful monopoly on the game's esports scene.
Okay. Not.
But that was from a week ago.
Yeah.
And then this most recently, a couple days ago, there's a news story that they're changing how they do the esports. And I don't know the details of it, and I don't think it's in Discord. Activision.
Oh, okay.
So after they get hit with this suit, all of a sudden they're like, you know what? Let's change how we do esports. And there's a lot of speculation that the lawsuit probably had something to do with it for sure. Oh, get a nice view of some little
Salinas Valley. That is also the Salinas River. Oh, wherever we see those trees, those are almond trees right there. Grapes on the other side. Yeah, in fact, we're very getting close to the turn off to the family ranch. And I have broadcasted to you. I've done a show at the end of the road from the family ranch when it had shitty internet. Now they have Starlink and their internet is amazing. But back in the day, I had to be out at the end of the road to get the signal, the cell phone signal from the freeway. And of course, it started raining because why not?
Yeah, I mean it's been raining this whole weekend.
Yeah, and it's been weird. It's been off and on. In fact, there were 2 tornadoes north of us yesterday.
Really?
There were 2 or maybe it was south of us. There were definitely 2 tornadoes in our vicinity area. But I can't remember where exactly they were.
I don't know if we talked about it last week, that the Switch 2 was rumored to be coming out later this year, but was then delayed to early 2025.
Really?
Yeah, because Nintendo wasn't happy with the slate of games set to release.
Smart, because it's games that sell the consoles, not the consoles that sell the games.
Yeah. There was a rumor that a PSVR Pro would come out later this year, and people are like, well, what even is a PSVR Pro at this point? Because not PSVR, just PS5 Pro.
PS5 Pro.
Yeah. The PS5 isn't struggling to run games. So
right.
What exactly would a Pro version do?
It would be $100 more.
yeah. That's the key.
And that's it. $100 more.
And I'm kind of out of the news from Discord. So, yeah, that's kind of all I got now. Now, we just talk about the road.
Oh, did I make a mistake?
Uh-oh. Did you go down the wrong road?
I did. I should have taken a left, I think. I'm used to coming from the other direction, so...
Oh.
Maybe? Yeah. I went the wrong way.
Okay. So I guess, what are you looking forward to playing when you get back?
Come on, Nick.
Is there really any other game?
No,
it's just the one game.
Really. I'm really close to being done with my first playthrough, so yeah, I'm very excited about that. Yeah, I went exactly the wrong way. This is Leonardo.
I'm looking to get back into Helldivers and spreading managed democracy to the universe. But then Final Fantasy Rebirth came out too, and I'm excited to get into that. But at the same time, we played enough Baldur's Gate that I can feel the itch coming back. It's just a little light scratch. Hey, you're fucking things up with your dragon. You could not fuck things up. How would you like to not fuck things up? It's I would kind of like to not fuck things up. So yeah, I got plenty of things to play. Like my game time is like overwhelmed with riches at this point, which is funny because a lot of people are saying that like it's been a relatively slow release year. That like there haven't been a lot of big, huge hits.
Right.
And I kind of disagree. I just think the big hits were not the games that people expected. Right? They weren't Suicide Squad or Skull and Bones. It was Power World and Helldivers. But yeah, we also don't know what's coming out at the end of the year because I think everything in the second half is kind of unknown. There's not a lot of information about it.
We had some flooding. There was some flooding at the ranch. Oh. So coming the other direction, this is really fast coming off the freeway, but coming this direction, it's a little bit farther. But yeah.
That's wet.
Yep.
It is not fun.
Yep. Yeah, so this is all, what is this? I forget what's out here. I think this is lettuce. Will be lettuce if it's not already lettuce.
Lettuce.
Yeah. And I believe that's just fallow right now.
Is lettuce like a place?
That's a crop.
Okay. Oh, lettuce crop.
Lettuce crop. So yeah, it's a little farther to get to the place from this direction, but it's not bad. But getting back on the freeway, it's like 1 mile.
Not bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no good way to get on the freeway, off the freeway, coming from the south to the ranch. But you also get a
how do you usually get here?
I come from south, and it's like literally boom, boom, right off of this road. It's essentially this road, but it's the other.
This is like a 1-lane road.
No, it's not a 1-lane road.
It looks like a 1-lane.
It's 2 ways, but you just work around it.
Just go slow.
Pull off the road, let somebody pass. It's a country road. This is a country road.
I don't know these country roads. I'm a city boy.
Yeah, you really.
I don't know country roads. Country roads scare me.
Sorry. Thought I like looked down and saw that. And I'm like, oh, something's coming across the road.
Yeah. No, it's
You have Spreckles.
Oh, okay. We got this. I'm going to take this opportunity to end it for now.
Yeah, we'll be back in a bit as soon as we're back on the actual roads, but now we're... The other thing we do here is cattle. The cows are lying in the field. You know what that means? It's going to rain. It's true.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Bitters. We will see you again soon.